when it comes to the black, enslaved and black people, they say, shut up, be quiet, don't talk about it, because blacks, we are America's dirty little secret, as Dr. Claude Anderson said. And America don't want to deal with the whole question of reparation, repair, and the damage. But when it comes to the black, enslaved and black people, they say, shut up, be quiet, don't talk about it, because blacks, we are America's dirty little secret, as Dr. Claude Anderson said. And America don't want to deal with the whole question of reparation, repair, and the damage. But when it comes to the black, enslaved and black people, they say, shut up, be quiet, don't talk about it, because blacks, we are America's dirty little secret, as Dr. Claude Anderson said. And America don't want to deal with the whole question of reparation, repair, and the damage. But when it comes to the black, enslaved and black people, they say, shut up, be quiet, don't talk about it, because blacks, we are America's dirty little secret, as Dr. Claude Anderson said. And America don't want to deal with the whole question of reparation, repair, and the damage. But when it comes to the black, enslaved and...
What's up, ADOS and our allies? Hey! Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the Central. Good evening on the East Coast. Hey, you know who it is. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel. Angela Nirvana presents The Way I See It, family. Yes, follow in, start your watch parties. Got an exciting show for you tonight. What's up, Erie Blackfire? Hey, child. David Smith, what's up? How y'all doing, family? Follow in, family. Tonight is going to be another fire show. I've got the incomparable Felina Farley, co-chair, Green Party, Ohio. Okay, she's in the building, and it was inspired, actually, yesterday when I was doing my Second Amendment gun rights show with Nick Bazell and Travis Johnson. Shout out to you both. Nick mentioned to me that Angela Walker, who is running on the VP ticket for the Green Party, was going to be coming on to a Zoom with the ADOS. And I thought to myself, I voted Green Party last election cycle. Why didn't I think to do that with the top of the ticket this time around versus filling in ADOS? So I text Felina Farley late last night. This morning she responded that she would be willing to come on. I love you, Black and Strong, Erie Blackfire. Thank you for joining the live. That she would be willing to come on, talk about reparations, which is running on their platform. And they've got some wonderful, very humane policies on that platform that they had the last election cycle, which prompted me to vote for Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka. So now it's like, instead of throwing that vote away, family, I want us to be thinking on a new strategy, because she's going to share how if we can get them to 5%, they can be a real contender in future races. I think we only got Jill Stein to 2% last election cycle. So for me, this is a real solution with us finally getting a third party, family. We've got to push them to 5% so they don't have to worry whether or not they'll be represented in every state. This is our time to break away from the lesser two evil Democrat and Republican system, family. We've got the Green Party that's been at it for years, okay? So we're going to let her make the case for why we should partner as the ADOS movement with the Green Party, who is about those reparations. I'm going to bring her up momentarily. I'm ecstatic because I will not be voting lesser of two evil anymore. I stopped that last election cycle, actually. But I cannot wrap my mind around voting for the author of the 94 crime bill and Cali's top cop, by her own admission, in an era of defund the police and Black Lives Mattering. That's an oxymoron. And I've got one of them brains that do reasonable deduction. And it is reasonable to deduce that if you put top cops in charge of the country, that's going to mean more oppression for our people. I've been going over. Shout out to everybody joining the live. I love y'all black and strong. Listen, I've been sharing in the last couple of episodes about how dire our situation is. What's up, Moni Love? Thank you for joining the live. I've been sharing that we are $200 liquid down here in LA to Kamala's Asian Indian people, $245,000 liquid here in LA, that the ADOS here in LA are 6%. Well, I don't even know if we're 6%. I truly don't think we're 6% if we're only $200 liquid. They're flattening all that blackness down here with those numbers, okay? So that 6% is comprised of African, Caribbean, and ADOS. But anywho, of the 6% of us still remaining, we're down from 16%. 44% of us have degrees to Kamala's people, Asian Indian, who have 79% of them hold degrees, and yet we are 200 liquid to their $245,000 liquid. And you guys want to come up in my feed and fight me over her race. Her mother identified as white because in India, Brahmin caste is the top of the food chain in the same way the elite billionaires are here in this country. When they come here, they mark white because their money makes them white. And I do believe the term is Dalit. Dalit is the poor on the bottom of the triangle. If you look through Angela Nirvana's feed, you will see Dalit. That's comparable with ADOS. And it would explain her record against poor ADOS in this country, why she was Cali's top cop, why she was imprisoning us at the record rates that she was doing, coming after truant moms, not allowing the nonviolent offenders free at the governor's behest because she needed black bodies to put out white fires in the hills when the homes were burning down. Like all of that is coming together. When you see they have twice as much education as we do, but they're making a bazillion times more liquid. Our income's down here. Median income is $53,500. The median income for Kamala's people is $100,000. That used to be me. Okay. So it's flipped. And now they want us to sign up for this to put them in office. And like I mentioned, that's an oxymoron. How are we in an era of Black Lives Matter and defund the police, and we're putting the author of the 94 crime bill, which has landed close to 1 million of our black men in prison, more black men in prisons in this country than women jailed throughout the world, and Cali's top cop. It doesn't make sense. So I've got Felina here to explain about the Green Party and those candidates. Let me bring her up right now so that we can get the show on the road. She had blacked out for a second, so I was killing time. What's up, Charles Adams? Thank you for joining the live. Lakota, Yamin, thank you for joining the live. Kim, Kafab, Minefer, Shep Sutera. Thank you so much, family, for joining the live. Stand by. Introducing the incomparable Felina Farley, co-chair of the Ohio Green Party. Thank you and welcome to the live, family. Thank you for being here. We're so grateful for your presence.
No problem. I was happy to join you because I know a lot of people are asking because, Angela Walker, she kind of went viral herself because we took that picture of her when they tried to make a big deal about Kamala being like the first black woman or something. And we made a meme of her like, really? Like I'm not here, y'all. Like I'm not. And she ran for VP in 2016 under the Socialist Party. So she's been around the block. This is her second time. So we're trying to combine the left. So it's pretty much a run of green socialists and peace and freedom parties. This is a combined party endorsement. We're going in full throttle, like everybody just jump on board. We're just gonna take over because this is ridiculous. Everybody's just trying to figure out another strategy to try to get people like, look, this is getting really bad. We got to combine um, all these small fringed parties and kind of like put this power, more weight behind a left front to push back against this capitalism based in white supremacy. We can't get reparations fairly without taking the system down. And, that's been their motto. I first learned about them in 2008 when Cynthia McKinney, um, black woman, ran for president under the Green Party against Obama. Nobody knew. I mean, we knew who she was because she cursed out um, uh, Bush's Cheney. She put Cheney on task about the human trafficking going on with their so-called militia forces the United States is using with Israel. And she didn't endorse AIPAC. It was a lot of dirty stuff going on with Israel. And you know what happens when you say anything bad about Israel? They pretty much throw you under the bus, like you're calling them a racial slur or something. And they always use that, um, you know, because what Biden said, you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. So that meme is still around because he said that not too long ago. So
yeah, you can't say it. That's all.
I know we can't say it, but
yeah, let me address Charles Adams real quick. Let me help you with something, sir. Respectfully. The ADOS101.com lists our demands. This is not lost on the candidates that are running. They are choosing to ignore us. We're demanding reparations in the trillions over multi-generations. Now, if you're trolling, you're excused. But that is not the show. I am selling the ADOS right now on voting Green Party to get us what we are owed. A debt that is owed for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. I don't have an attitude. I have passion for the American descendants of chattel slavery. And you keep asking the same questions, and it's a distraction. I'm not selling division. I am putting a gate up around what we are due because this country is putting immigrants over American descendants of chattel slavery. They are putting Black immigrants, Asians, Hispanics over ADOS, whose ancestors made cotton king to the tune of $42 trillion. Go and read a history book before you come on my feed getting brand new with me. Thank you very much. Valina, could I back you up, please, and have you share a little bit about your background? Trump is not our responsibility. Okay? We did not put Trump in office. Nope. Let me understand. These white Democrats, Black Democrats, Hispanic Democrats, Asian Democrats, okay? Let me help you with something. They are forever telling us to save them from their own nonsense. White men and white women put Trump in office. Stop putting that on the American descendants of chattel slavery. About 90% of us voted for crooked Hillary Clinton, not me. I voted Jill Stein and Baraka. Help me with his first name, Felina. Ajamu. Mm-hmm. That's who I voted for, a third party. Stop sitting up here telling ADOS that we are the ones that put Trump in office. It is not my responsibility to use my vote to unseat someone I've never been a party to. I've never been a Republican. And I am sick and tired of you guys trying to mask the real issues that we are $200 liquid in LA, $8 liquid in Boston, and $11 liquid in Miami, trying to just mask all those issues that we're having in the Black community with this nonsense you're on, trying to make us into trolls, trying to make us into Russian bots, which was made up by Crooked Hillary because she was being exposed about all her scandals. All that nonsense is made up. There is no Russia Gate. They had to make that up to give her cover, and everybody fell in line. Okay? I'm telling you, the ADOS ain't for this nonsense. Don't come for me in my feed on my show. You will get handled. Now, I'm tired of y'all sitting up here masking the issues in the ADOS communities all over the country. We are the legs of the table everybody else eats from while you guys are fighting for symbolism. This woman is Brahmin caste white. Look it up. Her mother put Caucasian on her birth certificate. And you guys are so in love with light skin and long freaking hair that you're looking beyond the fact that you're being replaced by immigrants in this country. This is the last election cycle that we have to break the back of the establishment. That is what my show is designed to do. I will be on that note every day up until this election. Understand where I'm coming from. Every day, my people are dying from the COVID, from government sanctioned executions. Do you understand where I'm coming from? They are hungry. They have no health care. They are discriminated against, environmental racism in these polluted tenement housing. This is institutional systemic racism. And some of you boomers and some of you Gen Xers want us to continue this two-step lesser of two evil, two-step shuffle all the way to hell. When you on your way out of here, you're not listening to the woke Gen Xers, the woke boomers, the woke millennials. You just want what's comfortable and safe while we're bottom cast and in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming the permanent underclass in the country our ancestors built with their lives. Don't come for me. I haven't had much sleep, and I'm tired of the BS. You will be blocked. Keep calling us trolls. Keep calling us Trump supporters. Keep calling us xenophobes. You will be handled. Don't resurrect the bee in me. I'm trying to keep her suppressed. I am here to talk to ADOS who want to know how to place your vote in the Green Party for reparations and the Black agenda. Miss Felina, I'm going to take a breath. Could you please share with my audience who you are, your background, how you came to the Green Party, just a little history on your sister?
Sure. Well, I've always been independent. I never was a Democrat. And I started first getting into politics with Ron Paul and how he was trying to start the Tea Party, and how way at the beginning of it, a lot of us knew what the calling it the Tea Party meant, and the symbolism of it, and overthrowing our monetary system and starting over. And then it got co-opted. First the Democrats tried to counter the Tea Party with the Coffee Party. And I don't even understand why they even attempted to do that. That didn't work. Everyone was able to push back. And then when we started to talk about reparations after we ended the Federal Reserve and having our own monetary system, so if we do build Black Wall Street again, it wouldn't get burned down, because if we try to do it again, it'll still get burned down again. So they were just like, why you gotta bring up reparations? And so the Democrats saw that, took advantage, and that's when the Tea Party started being labeled as a racist party. That's really how it started, because of reparations. And people, when I tell people that, they're like, well, oh, that makes sense now. But at the time, they really didn't know why all of a sudden, it became like racist, but it didn't start off that way because KRS-One was down with it, and that's how I kind of got involved when it was him, and he was doing all that 9/11 truth stuff, and um, you know how KRS-One was, so of course he was down with that. We were going to do some type of black tea party wing with it, and have it like Earl Grey and stuff. It's going to be interesting, and that was before memes was a thing. So that's like 2007. After Ron Paul got the primary stolen, just like Bernie did from the Republicans, um, we were all disenfranchised. I didn't go back into it. Then I found out later about what happened with Cynthia McKinney. Um, they were setting her up and sending homeless people to her rallies to disrupt them and stuff like that. It was pretty bad for her too, considering she's a black woman running for president of the Green Party against Obama. That was just overshadowing the fact that we had a black woman running for president. So here we are again with at least our VP being a black woman and born and raised generations here and experienced, this Jim Crow laws, and I know everything that's going on, and I'm sure this is just frustrating. The battles between all these different reparation fronts are just weird for me personally. I think it's interesting that I'm getting attacked from within ADOS groups, and I'm getting attacked from the other groups that attack ADOS groups. So
Okay, can you expound on that? You sent me something a little earlier. Could you tell my audience what's happening within the ADOS? Why are we attacking?
oh, you guys are attacking because we're trying to convince ADOS not to write ADOS on top of the ticket. So I don't know why they don't know that increases their chances of getting their whole ballot thrown out, because they do all the time.
Oh,
So I'm sitting here like, your down ballot strategy doesn't work, because even the people that voted for the monkey or something that year, their ballots get thrown out. Like they'll just throw out the whole thing. Also, all your down ballot votes don't even count, and that's supposed to be illegal, but they do it.
I didn't know that. So if we write in ADOS, but we fill in Democratic Congress, every place else, the whole thing goes out?
Yep, yep. It's a lot of election fraud. That's not voter fraud. That's election fraud. That's what I'm
Wow, I
saying.
didn't know that.
Well, believe me, I got a lot of background coming from Chicago to Ohio, because my family's here and moved here 30, 40, yeah, almost 35 years ago. So I've always been back and forth here, and I finally moved here. But I've met all the people that were involved in all those lawsuits back in 2004, what happened in Ohio. And that made national news, but people seem to forget like what actually happened. And yes, a lot of this, it wasn't just Florida, Ohio too. They throw a lot of stuff away. There was just a recent thing about Florida that they found like a whole bunch of ballots in a truck somewhere that never been counted. Yeah, there was a whole bunch. There's a lot of election fraud. A lots. When it
Interesting.
comes to Jill and well, when it comes to third parties, there's one more thing I'll say about 2016 for being a IT and data person, and was in the back end of all that stuff when it comes to the polls and our counts and seeing the numbers drop. I would say both Jill and Gary in 2016 got over 5%. Both of them did. I know they did.
You mean the Libertarians and the Green Party combined?
Yeah, no. Combined, they got like 15.
Are
Combined,
you for real?
yeah, I would say Gary got set about like almost 7, and Jill got 5.8 or 9 or something. Like they really did a number on us and threw away a lot of votes and stuff. That was another reason why we did the recount. It wasn't just the fact that all the disenfranchised Democrats know that Hillary won because she won the popular vote, but We also did the recount in 2016 because we knew a lot of votes were either like not counted or deleted on purpose. Because we could tell by, you could tell by real small rural counties. So, like, let's say you're in Pennsylvania and you're in a rural county and you're the only county green for that whole entire county, right? And you were able to outreach enough to you knew about 8 people were going to vote for Jill Stein. And when the results came out, the only registered green vote that that county counted was that one county lead person. So the 8 votes that he knew, that he could at least verify, he knew those 8 people, their votes weren't counted. So that's why I'm saying you can, we had the evidence at a micro level. At the macro, we knew it was pretty bad. That's why we targeted those few states. But it was bad for us.
Um, okay, so that's probably why we're not on the ballot in every state and have to fight all over again. So
Yep.
what to prevent them from doing that to us again? Say that we get you what you need in terms of the 5%. What's to prevent them from not miscounting the votes so that we don't get all the benefits of being 5%, which I'd like for you to share with my family about that 5% and the value in getting you guys to 5%. If you could start there and then answer my question, that would be helpful.
Yes, because we start getting um, national recognition status, so we don't have to petition by state for the for local candidates to run. Because a lot of people don't really know about their ballot access laws and how complicated it is for all of our states, and they're all different. So the way you register in California is not the same way as I register in Ohio, and the way California gets ballot access is not the same as the way Ohio does, and the same.
They make it so hard to create a third party, child.
Yep, yep. Because one strategy works in one state, but it won't work in Michigan or it won't work in Florida. But yeah, in other states they don't have a problem at all. Like their state is like pretty open, and you could, they don't make you go through crazy requirements for party recognition.
On the ballot.
Yeah,
And it was a part 2 to the benefit of getting you guys to 5%.
right. Because then it'll be like every state is like that when you have multiple parties that can register without all this petitioning to be recognized as a party. Like most people don't understand the petitionings we're asking to sign because they know who the Green Party is. So it's like, to them it feels like you're accusing them of being stupid. Like, I know who the Green Party is. What do you mean I have to sign a petition to recognize the Green Party? I know who the Green Party is. That's the whole opposite part of it. Some people say it's hard because a lot of people don't know who the Green Party is. But now, after the Green New Deal, and a lot of people researching, it's like, wait a minute, Jill Stein was talking about the Green New Deal, and Howie in New York was talking about the Green New Deal in 2010. So you got New York and you got Jill Stein all looking like, yeah, we know it was the Green Party came up with the Green New Deal. I don't know why this is such like taboo subject. Like the Democrats straight took our stuff.
They'll do it.
Plain as day, and you still go vote for them. And then it's like, why don't you vote for the people that they stole their ideas from? Maybe that might help a little bit to understand why they're stealing our ideas. Because I know some people say we're supposed to be humble about it, but then it's like, okay, you can only be humble so much before you say, well, can we just stick with the originals? Like, you got GMO versus organic, so
Yes, sis. But let me help you understand something. I found you guys after they stole the election, stole the primary from Bernie Sanders in the way they did this election cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
He was beating the brakes off of Biden. He won 3 states straight, went to the Carolinas, South Carolina. Jim Clyburn did his magic, and the sheeple came out to vote for him. And then Obama dropped dime, and that's how they cleared Bernie. And that was his intent all along. Same with Kamala. We didn't want her, so they put her away because Tulsi Gabbard gave her that heat on that debate stage exposing her record down here. And so they had to put her away to make all that negative press go away. And then, of course, I believe, and it's maybe conspiracy theory, but I believe a lot of events have been concocted to make Trump into a boogeyman in order to make space to bring out Kamala as Cali's top cop, along the author of the 94 crime bill, to get the sheeple corralled once again to vote blue no matter who. Even George Floyd.
I
I
know.
I believe some of these things were intentional to get us back on Democrat cyanide.
Yeah.
And that, it may be conspiracy, but in my gut, something's telling me something ain't right for the events to have unfolded the way they did and for Trump to look completely off the rails. Not that he's not a loon in his own right, but
Hmm.
nobody can tell me what he's done more egregious than creating a bottom caste of us while under Obama and Bush.
Yeah.
Nobody can say that. All they say is he's mean, he's racist. They can't tell you anything tangible like under Obama, 1 million white millionaires were created and we lost 43% of our wealth.
Yep.
Nobody can give me a tangible that Trump has done directly to ADOS akin to what Obama did. And he also said no to reparations. I'm not looking to the Republicans to say yes to reparations. That's not the way we generally vote. I'm not looking to Trump to say yes. It would shock me if he did. And then I still wouldn't believe him until I got a check directly deposited into my account. But we've been the mules of the Democratic Party for 60 years. So, yes, I'm holding you accountable for my reparations because you are responsible for putting whites and immigrants over us to make us bottom caste, which puts us in the fight, Barack Obama, you'll know, to reparations. It puts us now in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming the permanent underclass. But the tragedy with being in a capitalistic country is somebody has to be on the bottom.
Yep.
And so they've got us like a noose around our neck. And the ADOS is in a serious fight to get the noose off and to come up. But that means immigrants are going to have to come down, or white folks are going to have to come down. But let me tell you who ain't going to be down. ADOS ain't going for this. So if it means disrupting every election cycle henceforth till they come to their senses and cut the check, then this is what I'm here for. So anyway, I want you to share with me about the incomparable VP pick, Angela Walker. Could you give a little background on her? She's ADOS. She's a
Mhm.
truck driver, you shared with me. She's a single mom. It's just rich. Can you please share?
Well, I always point out that it's very hard to call everyone that voted green in 2016 a spoiler at this point because we're in the middle of a pandemic and we all voted for a female doctor. So I think we'll be in a very much better place right now if we would have got our way. So it's very hard to convince us of being spoilers at this point. We're pretty much trying to point out that Democrats are spoilers and just like how the meme goes, toss the whole thing away. Just just throw it all away. It's just no good. It's bad. It's gone bad. The milk's gone bad. So um, she ran as VP for the Socialist Party, and Howie was one of the co-founders that started the National Green Party and declared us as a national party. I think that was in the late 80s. And there was some infighting going on about our business models or versus like how we how we do the grassroots versus dues versus no dues. And um, I think with the open source movement, the no dues won because we're trying to not be compromised by high donors because that's how they always get in and compromise the movement.
Yep.
Um, that's what they did with Occupy. That's what they did with Black Lives Matter. I keep saying, like, all the Black Lives Matter local, there are a lot of Black Greens that are doing the thing locally. Because Minnesota, that is us. That is the Black Green Party. That is ADOS. That is ADUS. That is all of it in Minnesota. Ground Zero, you'll see me sharing local videos from Minnesota because our one of our national co-chairs is the Black Lives Matter Minnesota. Um, one of the activists and leaders there. And he's also the co-chair of the Minnesota Green Party. And we have a black candidate that is running against Omar because of what's going on in her district and how she's not doing anything. And people are just like, they're progressives. And it's like, no, they're not. You see what's happening? No, it's not happening. So
That's Ilhan Omar.
mhm.
Yeah.
We have an ADOS black preacher in the Green Party running against her.
Praise the Lord.
So
Praise the Lord.
please pay attention of who you are voting for down ticket, because a lot of times it's us and we're not Democrats. We're not Democrats for our lives. A lot of us are not. We follow all of us followed all the old guards that are political prisoners right now. They just had a Black is Back coalition long fun over the weekend fundraiser for all the political prisoners that have either they started some type of movement or resistance, or you tried to start a union, and they get locked up for 30, 40 years, and you never hear about it. And we're losing people left and right in IT that are black because it's so easy to get rid of us. And you got to be careful. We're not Julian Assange. We're not Edward Snowden. We don't have the complexion for the protection.
So they
So
knock us up when we see.
so they can just knock us out, and we can't whistleblow about anything. Um, even if you want us to work in governments and NASA's, we have these are NASA people that are green. Asa Gordon is one of he was part of the Hidden Figures, um, the whole thing. He was a rocket scientist, NASA, ADOS. He's with the Green DC. He wouldn't be a Democrat. They will just take us out and you wouldn't know. They just say, "Oh, you got hit by drive by. Oops, tripped over a bullet. Clumsy Felina." She says, she just can't watch where she going, and that's why you can't say anything. People, you'd be surprised what we know. We can't say anything. It's too. And then you
But
after
you're
what happened, look, after what happened to Seth Rich, it's like after what happened to him, what do you think happens to IT people that try to do that with Democrats? I want y'all to think about that because they made a big deal. It's not like Seth Rich didn't make a big deal about what he leaked to WikiLeaks, but there was a white guy. You know what black people have probably wanted to leak but couldn't. So they want us to get us in these fields, and then we get in them and realizing it's like messed up, you know. But then they say, you gotta hold your nose and vote for Biden. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, after they killed this person, that person, yeah, okay.
yeah, I'm good. Not doing it. So who are these other green candidates that my thing is, are the candidates on every ballot in every state? Like
No,
how?
because we lost a lot of ballot access in 2018 because that blue no matter who scare, and people only pay attention to us at the presidential years. And since they don't pay attention to us in the mid elections, like 2018, we gotta like fight harder in those years, and because we'll end up losing ballot access because everybody did vote blue no matter who again, and this is where we are. Because people forget we have that round to change Congress too, but they just focus on presidential years, and then they blame us like, why don't the Green Party show up during presidential years? Why aren't you wearing? And I have so many memes from 2018, and people can see that I screenshot all these tweets from 2018. And when we do run in mid elections, nobody paid attention. So, but they tell us to say you need to run in more local elections, and we do all the time, and we win them all the time. We win mayors, city councils, board of elections, water conservations. We win the small ones because you know it's not that crooked at the local, so that's not the problem. And then we're green. Yeah, we're supposed to be local. We think local, we act, I know we think global, but we act local. So, we pretty much same way when it comes to all the other green parties in Europe and Australia, and um, sometimes since Jill, they say Jill only got 1%, and
Yeah.
and I say we are the 1% that's actually fighting the other 1%. The rest of y'all, I don't know what's going on, but there's 1% of us that are really trying to fight the 1%. So it's pretty bad, and it's not as bad in other countries, but it's pretty bad here. Green parties do a little bit better. They're, you know, it's not so corrupt when it comes to elections. So,
But we're in a corrupt system that can still corrupt us nonetheless. Let me see here. I want to go to my comments. We are about 20 minutes from closer to 15 minutes, not leaving the house to vote for nobody unless I'm promised something. Lakona Yamin, we really need you to not take that hard line. I want you to check out the Green Party. It's very easy to Google them. I will put their website here in the comments after I go through here. But we need all of ADOS to show up. We're not encouraging anyone to stay home. It's very, well, okay, most of us are mailing in the ballots, but I still advise you find your elections office and your board of elections and bring your ballot, because there's a lot of trickery going on with the mail, and you may not be able to get your ballot received in time. So that's why I'm having you guys take a look at the Green Party. And please, their website is chock full of humanity.
we have a Black Caucus, you guys. And I know that when it comes to our Black Caucus, we do have a little bit of, we have ADOS members, we have some NCROBA members, and we have some, I forgot what the other reparations group, but I think we are a little bit of a mixed bag, which is kind of interesting because, well, I would say that the infighting with the Pan-Africanism, that's not going to work. If ADOS keeps doing what they're doing, keep pushing that U.S. Census right in, I think that would be so important to focus on for ADOS right now is the census write-in, especially since they cut the date short all of a sudden. And I really think that is working. I know we're probably at 50,000. I'm hoping we're at 50,000 right now if us did it for us and our kids. And it's important to force them to count, or force them to acknowledge that we're counting and we're serious, because that's the problem, is not having something actionable even during this COVID crisis to make sure that we're putting and you can, and since it's the U.S. Census, I don't even care if you just put descendant of slavery after you check the Black African American box, because this is a U.S. Census, so you can just put descendants of slavery. I think the U.S. or descendant of slavery of the United States, I don't care, because it's the U.S. Census. And I'm sitting there like, I don't even understand the Pan-African pushback on that, because this is the U.S. Census. And
well,
we're talking about counting
the distinction
country right now.
We need the distinction. You know, the Pan-Africanism puts a lot of people to sleep.
Yeah,
And
no, it's not attracting them at all. It's really not. And they're gonna have to think of how they can work together with this, because they see that what you got ADOS is doing is working better. To
yes,
really, it's
because we are putting a gate up around ADOS for a change.
yeah.
We've been couched in pen. Let me explain that HR 40 under NCOBRA and NARC's watch, which is full of Pan Africanism, sat collecting dust for 30 years before the ADOS.
Hmm.
Okay, we were the ones to make reparations a national debate. We brought this to the fore. I don't know if it's because we're younger and more of keyboard warriors or what, but I really believe greater than all of that is the fact that they're trying to repair everyone.
Hmm.
They're not focused on repairing the people who descend from chattel slavery. So Pan Africanism is dead to us. And yes, we have been encouraging each other to please fill in ADOS, American Descendant of Chattel Slavery. Spell it out. You can do so on the computer and on the actual forms, because they are into flattening Blackness. As I've shared on a prior show, African immigrants are $60,000 liquid down here in LA. To American Descendant of Slavery, US Black, we are $200 liquid. So what happens is when you call us African American or you call us Black, you lump us into immigrants who are doing far better than many whites in this country, which is what got white people upset too. Okay. Kamala's people, Asian Indians, are doing far better, as are African immigrants in some cases out here,
Hmm.
doing better than white folks. So we are Native Blacks and we're on the bottom, which is why we need that distinction. Kim, thank you
But
for
they
sharing.
always conflate the black agenda with reparations. I'm like,
But
I
that's
don't
why I
know
did
which one is they're trying to say is the black agenda more important than reparations? Because I
well,
don't know.
reparations with cash attached. CARICOM is not cutting checks, from what I understand.
No.
And this is where the resistance come into play, because Narcan and Cobra want to fight for everyone, but white folks nor ADOS is going for that. We descend from the actual chattel enslavement here. And
Yep.
we are your reparations. You got the 65 Immigration Act. You didn't have to suffer the breeding farms. You didn't have to suffer the lynching. You didn't have to suffer the rapes. You didn't have to suffer through your black businesses being burned down, your black Wall Streets. So when you came, we paved the way for the white supremacists and the KKK to be easier on you. Now you can get employment over us. You know, you are able to go in there and weaponize being from another country to get gainful employment in a way that we can't mask who we are. And so you're weaponizing your immigrancy. That's your reparations. Be satisfied. We do have ADOS 101, where we spell out some other benefits for Blacks collectively, but reparations is exclusively ours, ADOS. So I'm going to be looking into joining your Black caucus. Thank you for sharing that. I got to get through the rest of this real quick. ADOS101.com to actually look up our Black agenda, which is inclusive of everyone. Thank you, Black Board, for joining the live. Sac Black Nation, zero interest business loans, zero interest home loans, free tuition, tax-free status, and reparations. Black women have the leverage to negotiate this today. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing some of those items off of the ADOS101.com Black Agenda. Let me scroll down. I just want to see if there's any questions of you. Kim said it right. Trump is not our responsibility. Forgive me for losing my cool at the top of the show, but I've been fighting this narrative since Kamala was chosen as VP, and I'm a little worn out. But I will not give in, not give up, and not give out. White folks put Trump in office. That's not our monkey, not our circus. Our monkey in our circus is reparations for ADOS.
Yeah.
Period. Oh, he says he's a historian. Well, too bad you're gone now. I definitely agree with you, Queen. Thank you, Alfred Perry, for joining live. Malika Short, Charles, you don't understand the data and how we are the bottom cast. Okay, so he's gone. Georgia Watts, you don't know American history. How are you, Queen? I'll stand with you. Thank you, Alfred. Sack Black Nation says reparations are and have been included. It seems to me that blacks have been trained to feel guilty about asking this nation for something for their vote. It is somewhat a sad situation. Absolutely, Sack Black Nation. We have been doing this lesser of two evil, two dance shuffle all the way to hell. They continue to do it for 60 years. They
Yeah.
continue to be the mules of the Democratic Party. And the sad truth is that many of the boomers who are for this particular two-step to hell they're very secure and they don't want anything disrupted. They just want their peace while their kids and their grandkids starve. They
Hmm.
don't give a damn that their children and their grandchildren are degreed, and yet a white high school dropout can get gainful employment over an educated ADOS. And let me take a breath and let Felina share about what happened with the security guard being replaced.
Yeah, one of my sites I've worked with that is actually very familiar with a lot of people in the area. It's it's nearby where the Free Press is, and the security guard is an older black man. I know his ADOS has been there. I know he's probably been there for at least 10, 20 years. I know he's been there for a while, and because of COVID, they got cut and replaced by two white guys that are temporary type employees. So, um, for and which in turn is it was terrible because you just ruined the morale of the company because we're in the middle of Black Lives Mattering and you're just like making people see it doesn't matter because of capitalism and how it's built in white supremacy. And people, you try to explain this stuff to them and you try to explain the history with Lincoln and the greenback and all these things that's happening with our monetary policy. I want to get reparations. I just don't want it to be used to make the white man richer. And there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people are seeing with COVID-19 is the reason why I was not for MMT, which is the modern monetary theory, which I'm not a fan of, and most Greens are not. So that might be an issue with the ADOS. I think it might be changing the tide because ending the Federal Reserve is just something that some black people might remember for Occupy Wall Street, but a lot of people in the black community did not know what Occupy Wall Street was really all about. They just thought it was just about Crooked Wall Street, not like getting rid of the Federal Reserve Bank that is printed on your money, that is based in debt. And MMT doesn't solve that, and I wouldn't recommend that for reparations at all. So I think that would be the only thing. And it's one of those things that most ADOS will look at that. It's like we'll approach that road when we get there because that's a little far ahead. That's kind of you're tearing down the banks, and we're really having our black-owned banks without the bureaucracy. That's what we're talking about at that level. So
Wow.
it has to be pretty much thought out. We do need a lot of members of our Black Caucus to join our banking reform committee because it is a huge part of reparations, actually. Um, Especially if you don't want Black Wall Street to get burned down again, we have to do this. It's pretty much the Green Party does understand how serious that part is. So there's a lot of banking reform people from the Tea Party that did go green. So I'm not the only one.
Wow. Okay, let's see here. Thank you for sharing. I put that in the chat, and I'd love more information on how to be involved with both Banking Reform Committee and your Black Caucus,
Mhm.
Felina. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going down. Thank you, Georgia, for joining the live. If I haven't said that already, I'm just going through the comments. Ignore him, sis. We got him. Okay, yeah. I finally found them. This is a new StreamYard is a new app for me. I didn't know how to get him out of there. Not voting for Trump is what she said. Okay, it's not talking points, it's data. Thank you, Malika Shirk, for joining the live and coming to my defense. I appreciate all of ADOS. You guys really hold me down and pick up the mantle when I get weary. I can't thank you guys enough. Pack or not, yes, I am voting Green Party, top a ticket. Thank you so much. I encourage all of you to give them a look. I don't think we should throw away our vote. I mean, who knew? Until Felina, I didn't know that voting ADOS at the top of the ticket and dim down ballot would potentially get my ballot torn up. I didn't know that. So my whole thing is the Democrats owe us, and yeah, I'd love to see Angela Walker as VP and Howie as well. You guys have got to really check out the site. They got some beautiful things there that will make you hopeful again in this country. And we need to really get behind this party. We're always talking about a third party. I encourage every ADOS to look into the Green Party. Why reinvent the wheel when they are for reparations and a whole bunch of other things to restore humanity to this country? The current two parties are not going to do that.
No.
Trump is not our boogeyman. He's yours. 4 more years
Oh,
of
and one more thing about black women running as VP. Remember the pushback with Kamala and all the, like Angela Davis and I forgot the other one. They made a big deal about she's not the first black woman to run as VP. And but they failed to mention all those black women ran in third parties. They make it seem like they ran in just Democrats. None of Angela Davis, when she ran for VP, she was not running as a Democrat. You know, none of them did. None of the black women who I know are descendants of slavery. I know they are, and none of them ran for as Democrat or Republican. They all ran a third party. It was the Progressive Party, the Freedom Party, I think it was. There was a few of them back then. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I am super excited over that Angela Walker. I can't wait to look up more from her. Family, we're going to actually try to get her on the show. How exciting would that be? So you can ask her direct. Most of ADOS voted for Hillary, got to talk to white women about Trump. Very true. Okay, I found the block button. Let me scroll on down so we can close the show out with prayer and share this, family. I think this is a solid place for us to put our vote, our protest vote. Since we're protesting, let's do it smart so the ballots don't get thrown out. You should be talking, okay, that stuff you're typing don't work in ADOS room, Charles. You're not converting anyone. Amen to that. Straight weird. Okay. SAC Black Nation says the Dems will take over in 2020. Let's put the pressure on them to push a black agenda. We should be past the fear of having any party in power. We have to push a black agenda to Biden and Harris. His black VP, SAC Black Nation. I thank you for those comments, SAC Black Nation. I have no.
ADOS came from the outside. What had happened? ADOS hit him from the outside. And that is the only thing that makes them move. You cannot make them move from the inside.
Thank you, sis.
They compromise you. And the only reason why ADOS has gotten as far as it did is because y'all came from the outside. Y'all did not come from the inside. And that was the reason why a lot of these other reparation groups failed, because they tried to work with the Democrats. And they will figure out the way to mess up your movement. Just like they did the Green New Deal, Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives Matter, and their Act Blue payment system that collects all your data. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for that. Yeah, there's no way to get this from the Democrats. They have pretty much been watching us grow, and they don't see us as a threat because we have no money.
Mm-hmm.
When you have no money in politics, you're on the menu, not at the table. So I appreciate the gesture, sis, but we have to go real renegade. We can't vote Democrat at all. We have to break the back of the establishment. And that's our push, is to encourage everyone to vote green or whatever. I'm pushing green, okay? I'm pushing green at the top of the ticket henceforth. And, looking at even the candidates here that are running in California that are green for Congress and voting for them, and other, Democrats filling it in with those that are the most progressive.
Yeah.
Do you have any information to corroborate this claim? I think she's speaking about if we write in ADOS. I don't know, Cynthia. I'm just guessing that's what you're referring to. Thank you for joining the live. Check Cynthia McDonald and Arthur Ward out also at 13%. They have a fire show on YouTube and Facebook. Do you have any information to corroborate this claim? I'm assuming she's talking about if we put in ADOS, our whole ticket will be thrown out.
Yeah. When there's each state has an actual process for write-in candidates. Like you have to still fill out either paperwork or get petitions done, even if it might only be, I think in Ohio it's 18 electors. So even as a write-in for any um, position, they can use that to throw your whole ballot out that you wrote in, Donald Duck. They sometimes they say they count it, but most of the time they just throwing out your whole ballot. And with all the scams that's going on, and they, like I said, they found a truck of mail ballots in Florida. Um, the mail-in ballot that Trump's talking about is a bad idea, and I worked for the post office for 10 years. I know it's a bad idea because absentee is two-step verification. You got to mail something in to verify it's you, and then they mail it back, and then you mail it out. So it's a back and forth. This mail in is just one way, and hope they do it right. Mm-mm, you know. So I still say that the mail in versus absentee is two different things. So I don't, and the military, I don't know why people are comparing them because they have their own mailing system with their own PO boxes and their own, yeah, they have their own thing. It's very secure.
Okay. Nathan Dennis, thank you for joining the live. I said whoever cheats the best will win. Absolutely.
Yep.
Cynthia says, I'm familiar with election fraud, but I know a few ADOS that are voting green at the top of the ticket. I'm one of them now. I'm sold. After listening to the videos of the two stellar candidates, they are people. They're real, they're tangible, they're attainable, they're approachable. I really hope we can get Angela Walker on here. I would love Howie as well. It would be awesome for them to be able to speak to my audience. Kim says it's about uniforming our voting habits via down ballot more so. Even if the election fraud happens, our historic problem has been not having an agenda-driven voting process based on data, Darity's data. Kim, I still would not run that risk of filling in ADOS and having your ballot thrown out. It's already very risky with the mail-in ballot situation. I would really vet Green Party very closely. I'm loving what I'm seeing and consider putting them at the top of the ticket. I will be pushing them out as the top of the ticket henceforth.
And I would want to bring up to also ADOS right now needs to focus on the write-in on the U.S. Census. That is like very important for ADOS to be focused on right now until September 30th, because it was until the end of October and they pushed it back a month.
Why?
I think they're trying to say it's COVID. I think it's because the write-in campaign worked and it freaked them out. And they're trying to shut it off early. We really need to focus on that right now. And we only have a month and a half left.
Please, guys, write in ADOS and spell it out. American descendant of chattel slavery. Yep. Because you got some white folks who did indentured servitude or are saying that they're American descendants of slavery. Put the word chattel in. Mm-hmm. They can't claim that. I'm trying to blaze through here. We're at an hour and 4. So let me see. Sack Black Nation says, I believe that the threat of losing the election because a percentage of Black women would revolt if a Black agenda is not represented. The Dems would be forced to have a contract with Black America. Sack Black Nation. Listen, my sweet, Um, they already have a black agenda. It just has no teeth in it.
Hmm.
Kamala is doing something with businesses. We've lost all of our businesses due to COVID. And the threshold for small business loans for those businesses to be performing at, to be recipients of those loans, it'll never happen because we don't have that kind of capital to run those type of profitable businesses to warrant those loans. So it's a crock of nothing. There's no teeth in it. Same with Biden's. Go read their black agenda. And you can see that Biden is on the very reform from the very people he made criminal. He's not talking about tearing down the private prisons. So it doesn't matter. As long as you have private prisons, you will have slaves and you will have beds because Biden made it so that the states are paid $25,000 a bed. That's why they're jailing black men in record number. They're not giving them jobs. William Dickens was on my show a week or so ago, and he talked about how he spent 10 years in jail and had to work for the state. And when he asked them for the state job once he was released, they told him, you can go back to prison and we can employ you that way for $1 a day. But we can't give you $30 an hour under contract. You see, this is the nonsense they're playing to re-enslave our people. So I hear you, but they already have what they believe to be the black agenda. There's no teeth in it. They're not entertaining the real black agenda. We've been working on them for 2.5 years. Okay, like we've been doing our part. Don't believe the hype. They know clearly that we are demanding reparations and a black agenda. They're just choosing to ignore us. So no, we'll ignore them. They'll give us the middle finger. We'll give it back. At some points, okay, no, okay,
Yeah, it could be. Is it Kunta?
yeah.
Yeah, because it could be. It could get tossed out. Like I said, if every state law is different, you better look into it if just to make sure. Because if it's like Ohio and if you write in anybody's name that did not go through the process to even apply to be a write-in candidate, that can throw out your ballot. So.
Nathan Dennis says he was hearing about the Green Party. What I'm saying, fam, is don't take any chances. Look at Green Party and see if that's palpable for you. I think that that's more productive for us overriding an ADOS and throwing it away when we've got a great place to land that vote. Check it out. Sack Black, if we can get one question of the Dems asked in an open forum with the Black nation watching, what is the Black agenda? What will you do specifically for Blacks putting Dems in office? Those sounds like the question. And then look at ADOS 101 to compare what they're saying. But I've seen both of their agendas and it sucks for ADOS. Like I said, we're $200 liquid here in LA, one of the most expensive states to live in. You know, folks are like, you should move. With what? Cost a good $10,000 to move. And then do what when you get where? If affirmative action is serving white women and immigrants, where you moving to? And how you going to survive? Like, that's ridiculous to me. If you're $200 liquid in LA, $8 liquid in Boston, and $11 liquid in Miami, there's nowhere for you to go. You can barely live where you're at. We're 90% of Skid Row and 44% educated out here. It matters not because it's baked into institutional systemic racism. You see, they don't have to call you a nigger no more. They built it into the legislation. That's why we've got to do something different. And I'm believing on the Green Party. I believed in them the last election cycle. And I say that's where we need to sow our roots and build up the Green Party as our third party. ADOS, this is a real direction. We absolutely seriously need to consider this because the Democrats and the Republicans lie, and lie some more.
Yeah.
Sure, they'll probably come up with something similar to like HR 40, everybody jumping on to sign, but there's no teeth in HR 40. That's why they're signing it. It's an election year. They're going to pander and say, we're going to give you HR 40. But, you know, they're not going to do anything real with it, like take our edits. So it's, you can't believe nothing they're saying right now because whatever they say right now is pandering for your vote. Felina, did you want to jump in while I scroll? I think I'm almost at the end.
Well, yes, we have a Black caucus, and when it comes to how people like say they hate identity politics, and I'm sitting there like, well, that's why we form caucuses, because we have issues that we want to be addressed as Black people, just like the Latinx caucus is wants they're fighting for Puerto Rico to descend from United States and become a sovereign nation. Um, that's their issue. If you want to, and there's a lot of Black Puerto Ricans that there may be like they might like both caucuses because they're Black Puerto Ricans, but they got their own issue they're fighting right now. So it's like we're not trying to step on each other's toes. And when it comes to a Black agenda, they want in on that because you can't. We're going to come up with a Black agenda for police reform that's only going to help Black people and don't help the Mexicans. So I don't understand like all this back and forth when the Latinx caucus they just want to work with us with the Black agenda. It's like the reparations has nothing to do with them. They're focused on the Black agenda part. Yeah, that's the part we want. I don't. I guess the good thing about the Green Party is that we're a little bit more reasonable um, when it comes to our activism. We really try not to step on everybody's toes when it comes to our different caucus, indigenous peoples caucus, and we are even trying to form an elderly caucus so the boomers can have a safe space because they're under attack. Well, they need something because because the elderly caucus they feel as though they just need a place to be separate from the crazy boomers that gave up on the fight. So at least we have those boomers in the Green Party that understand why boomers became boomers because they gave up. They gave up. And most of these, you'll see a lot of people that you think are boomers in the Green Party, and it's like, no, they're just the ones that didn't give up. That's all they are. They're trying, they're learning, and they're the ones that will. Soon as you say, okay, this is a Black issue, be quiet. They actually will be quiet. Like they won't just try to talk over you. So you got that part. So
Yeah. Let
yeah.
me see here. Georgia Watts says she is right. The Justice Dems got nowhere. Wow, I've been writing in for years. She says she's been writing in for years. An ADOS down ballot can be tossed out. What she's saying is if you put ADOS for the president and the VP, that ballot could potentially be thrown out because ADOS is not a candidate running for office. So we're encouraging everyone to look at the Green Party and see if you like Angela Walker and Howie Hawks. What's Howie's last name?
Hawkins.
Howie Hawkins. Check them out, family. I fell in love with the Green Party page. You should just see everything they're tackling. It's extraordinary. Kunta says, I am so tired of this crap. I hope we keep the press alive. We absolutely will, family. We can't give in. We can't give up. We can't give out. I had someone text me for political money today. I told them no, they didn't respect ADOS. Oh, I had the same thing happen to me with, they're trying to get money for Kamala and Biden.
Yeah.
Let the corporations take care of them since that's who they're working for. But I put one of the memes off Facebook. What is their ADOS agenda and what are they doing to close the egregious $100 trillion racial wealth gap? That stopped them from texting me right off the bat. So with that said, family, I want to thank you so much, Felina, for in a pinch joining the show to talk more about the Green Party. We're so grateful to you for all your insight and for sharing. And family, I'm so grateful to all of you for joining the live. Please share, and really talk to fellow colleagues, fellow comrades in the ADOS movement about, checking out the Green Party in as many spaces on the ballot as we possibly can. We need this. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, especially the Russian bot thing. When it comes to ADOS and how y'all got attacked from numerous bots that you guys are Russian bots. If any party can relate to being attacked as a Russian bot, it's the Green Party. So at least they understand.
Great company. We're in great company. Absolutely. Yeah. So please check them out. Look them up at, what is the website, dear, so I can type it?
Oh, gp.org.
Yes, family. Very easy. It's a beautiful site. You're going to be so pleased. You're going to feel restored looking at that site and listening to those vids of those extraordinary candidates. With that said, family, I've got to give you guys a covering. We're at 1:15, and I promised my daughter that we would go to the beach and work out. So we're about to get that
Okay.
in. I want to thank you guys so much and put a covering over you. This is the part where I pray us out. It's a real simple prayer. And if you're not down for prayer, this is the time you can exit. Love you, black and strong. But with that said, I want to tell you that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever ADOS and its allies are, God truly is, because you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. And with that said, family, until tomorrow's show, where we will be actually talking to a Caribbean immigrant, Andrea Michelle, it's going to be a fire show. And we're going to be talking about the data and how we got to this mislabeling of being xenophobes.
Mm-hmm.
Until tomorrow, 6 p.m., family, you go out here and represent like you know who you are. And you make it a beautiful, God inspired rest of your evening. I love you, Black. I love you, Strong. Mwah. Share, share, share. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Facebook keeps putting me in jail. Friends of ADOS TV. Thank you, Felina. I'll be talking to you real soon about the Black Caucus
Okay.
and the Banking Reform Committee. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be in touch so we can make an appointment to get me signed up, okay?
Okay.
God bless you. Thank you.